Hello and welcome to Volusia Magazine. I'm Amber Osman. In this week's episode, nesting turtles are hitting our beaches in record numbers. September is National Preparedness Month, and passenger traffics at our hometown airport continue to soar. Later on in the program, Joanne Magley sits down with Tammy Marris with Volusia County Beach Safety. Those segments and more coming right up on Volusia Magazine. I hope you stay tuned. Sea turtles along Volusia County's beaches are nesting, and it looks like it will be another record year. Through mid-August, there have been 680 nests counted, including 4 Kemp's Ridley sea turtle nests, a record number for the smallest and most endangered sea turtle. According to Jennifer Winters, Habitat Conservation Plan Program Manager for Volusia County, we are at the peak of the season with nests hatching while new nests are still being laid.
We are having a wonderful season. We're at the really peak highest point. This is our second highest nesting year, and right now we're peaking out because the new nests being laid are starting to be slowed down, but we still have over 600 nests that are hatching nightly throughout the county.
Sea turtle nesting continues through August and early September. During the later part of the season and into October is the nest hatching phase. This is an extremely important time in the life of a sea turtle. It is when sea turtles emerge from their nests and make their way to the ocean.
The hatchlings will typically emerge after dark when the temperature drops and it's a little bit cooler. They're instinctually triggered to come out of the nest to make their way to the water. And when the moon's out, especially on full moon nights, we have the brightest horizon is the reflection of the moon over the ocean. So those are the best nights when most of our nests make their way down to the water's edge easily.
To help protect turtles from bright lights, the county has a lighting ordinance which seeks to reduce the amount of light visible from the beach. Through a beach lighting management plan, environmental staff work with oceanfront property owners to reduce lighting along our beaches. If you see a nesting adult sea turtle or hatchlings making their way to the ocean, admire them from a distance, stand far away, remain calm, and quietly watch this miracle unfold. If a turtle appears to be in immediate danger, notify a lifeguard or a beach safety officer, or you can call the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission at 888-404-3922. For more information about Volusia County's Sea Turtle Program, you can call 386-238-4668, or you can visit volusiaseaturtles.org. For questions about lighting, you can call 386-238-4773.
While enjoying the outdoors this season, follow these steps to take the bite out of summer. Cover doors and windows with screens. Limit outdoor activities at dusk and dawn when mosquitoes are most active. Drain standing water from flower pots, garbage cans, or where water collects. Cover skin with clothing and repellent. Replace water in bird baths. Remember to drain and cover. For information on how to fight the bite, visit floridahealth.gov or your local county health department. A message from the Florida Department of Health.
Disasters don't plan ahead, you can. That's the theme of this year's National Preparedness Month in September. During the month, emergency officials encourage residents to take steps to be prepared for the types of emergencies that could affect us where we live, work, and play. In Volusia County, 2 of our biggest threats include tropical systems and lightning. Tropical systems, whether a tropical depression or a hurricane, can affect each of us a little differently, depending on where we live, household size, medical situations, and age. We all have in common, though, 3 steps we can take to be more prepared. Step 1. Create an emergency plan that includes details about where we would go if we had to evacuate, and share this information with family and friends. Step 2. Have an emergency supply kit that includes food, water, special dietary and medical items. Step 3. Stay informed by signing up to receive emergency telephone or email notifications from Volusia County Emergency Management and follow the county on social media.
So a lot of wealth of information out there to be able to help folks take a look at the things that they need for hurricane season. But, extra food, having some water on standby, making sure you've got plenty of medications. And also if you are on the barrier island and we would have to evacuate again, like we did for Matthew, where are you going to go? Again, we always say that, you want to make these plans during blue skies because you don't want to wait till the gray skies are here and the wind's blowing and the rain's falling to make those decisions because that's too late.
The other weather-related threat we face in Volusia County is lightning. According to the National Weather Service, 5 people have died this year from lightning in Florida. Like other weather-related disasters, lightning can be something prepared for by tuning into weather reports and going indoors when thunder roars.
Don't be one of the ones to wait for somebody else to do something. When you see a storm coming, you hear that rumble, take shelter.
Other lightning safety tips from Judge include, at the first sound of thunder, immediately move to a safe shelter, even if it isn't raining. Fully enclosed buildings provide the best protection. A car with a metal roof and the windows rolled up is also a safe place. Stay away from sheds, picnic shelters, tents, and covered porches. They will not protect you from lightning. Remain in your safe shelter at least 30 minutes after you hear the last sound of thunder. If you're stuck outside with no safe shelter anywhere, move away from bodies of water and elevated areas. Never lie flat on the ground and never shelter under an isolated tree. Remember, September is National Preparedness Month, a time to spend time on preparedness. For more information, you can visit volusia.org/emergency and follow us on Facebook and Twitter. As we move into peak hurricane season, it is important not to overlook your landscape. Karen Stotterman has tips on getting your yards prepped for tropical storm season.
Hi, I'm Karen Stotterman, the Commercial Horticulture Extension Agent for the University of Florida, Volusia County Extension Office. Today on Solutions for Your Life, we're going to be talking to Master Gardener Howard Jeffries, and he's going to be talking about tree care prior to our hurricane season. Howard, take it away.
Karen, one of the most important things people need to realize about their trees is they do require care, especially pruning. Trees are something we take for granted. We all like trees for shade. We also like them for their flowers and various other issues. But we're in the hurricane season, which means we can anticipate high wind and heavy rain. All of those can have serious impact not only on your trees, but your property. Today, I want to encourage you to take and have a look at your trees. To show you some examples of potential damage, look to my left and see that dead branch up there? If that were to fall and a car was parked in this empty spot, it would cause damage. Another issue to look for are branches over structures or where you'd park your car. Obviously, if there was breakage of those branches, they would damage that structure. Another issue to look for are dying or broken branches. Here you can see that 2 branches of good size have already fallen down over this sidewalk. That is a definite safety issue. Look for such things as dead wood. Look for signs of dieback. You say, well, I don't feel comfortable, telling my tree's good or bad. What could I do? The answer is hire a certified arborist. The certified arborist will help identify your problem, tell you how to correct it, and likewise do the work for you. It'll save you a lot of time, a lot of grief, and also money, because if you have damage, it's going to be some problems. So do that. Well, I've lost my tree, now what? Don't worry about if you lose your tree, because you can always replace it with the right tree in the right place. This is a problem many of us have, because we want a fast-growing tree to shade our yard. We want it within 5 years. Unfortunately, we get those type of trees. They have brittle wood, which means anytime you get winds of 35 miles an hour or more, they're going to cause damage. Now, if you go for the larger trees and you buy a piece of property that's got a large live oak on it, sure, that's a big tree. But if it hasn't been pruned within the last 5 or 10 years, you probably got a canopy that's going to be like a gigantic sail. So when the wind blows through it, it's going to possibly blow the tree over, or at least blow off parts of the trees, some of the branches. You might be asking about palm trees. Is there anything I should do on that? And the answer is you only need to remove any dead or broken fronds. Palm trees are very hardy in storms, so don't cut off anymore and do what they call the hurricane cut. That actually weakens a tree, and if that center leader dies out, so will the palm tree. So it's important that you do get your trees taken care of. The sooner the better.
Thanks for the great tips, Howard. For this and more information on preparing for hurricanes, contact us here at the Extension Office at 386-822-5778 or solutionsforyourlife.com. I'm Karen Stodeman with Solutions for Your Life.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
It's another month of positive gains in passenger traffic at Daytona Beach International Airport. Traffic increased 7.4% in July in comparison with July of last year. During the month, 64,746 passengers flew in or out of the county-operated airport when compared to 60,262 passengers last July. For the 12 months ending July 31st, total passenger traffic at DAB increased 6% with 711,897 passengers traveling through the facility this year compared to 671,651 passengers last year. Jay Cassens, Director of Business Development at Daytona Beach International Airport, says again, part of the reason for gains is more seats offered by the airlines.
To see the positive increases we've seen over the last 3 months continue for the remainder of the year. We've got American Airlines adding an additional flight in August, and then we've got Delta adding an additional flight starting in October and November of this year. So we expect to see steady increases, sustainable steady increases for the remainder of the year.
Currently, 3 airlines serve Daytona Beach International Airport. They're JetBlue, which offers daily nonstop service to New York City, Delta with nonstop service to Atlanta, and American Airlines with nonstop service to Charlotte. And did you know you can go to print a coupon for a free day of parking? Just visit flydab.com and click on the Airport Information tab at the top and then click on Parking and Parking Discounts. In the market for a new home? Well, industry experts say it may be tougher to buy a new home due to high demand in that industry. Robert Dietz, chief economist at the National Association of Home Builders, was the featured speaker at a recent industry event in Daytona Beach, sponsored by the Volusia Building Industry Association.
We're kind of in an interesting place in the new home market. We think of the declines of the Great Recession. We've seen a little bit of recovery in home building, mostly on the multifamily side, less so on the single family side in recent years. And there's a number of supply side reasons that builders are not providing enough housing to the market. And they include a lack of workers, a lack of building lots, a lack of access to financing in terms of builder loans, and increasingly rises in building material prices.
According to Dietz, ever since the housing crash in 2008, builders have been cautious, putting up high-priced custom homes that deliver a solid and reliable profit. They've shied away from building less expensive homes on spec and in new developments aimed at first-time buyers. The forecast for home construction points to a 10% growth rate this year, followed by another push of 12% in 2018. But according to Dietz, the industry needs to reach 1 million single-family starts over the forecast window, and it's not looking like it will get there.
So getting to 1 million single-family homes produced in a year is kind of watching the speedometer turn over to 10,000 miles. You know, it's psychologically important. So we expect to get to about 1 million, which will only be about 85% of the way there, sometime in 2019 or 2020. This is a long recovery. It's going to take some time, but there are really strong demographic tailwinds that are supporting the recovery, namely the fact that the millennials are increasingly going to move from rentership to homeownership.
For more county economic news, you can visit floridabusiness.org.
Whoa! Why did you throw the trash out the window?
Once.
Don't you know how long it takes litter to decompose? A cigarette butt takes 1 to 5 years. A plastic bag, 10 to 20 years. A glass bottle, 1,000,000 years.
You know, you're right. We should start caring more about the environment. Let's stop litter now.
Keep Volusia County beautiful.
Put litter in its place. Drive it home.
Let's go now to Community Information Director Joanne Magley and her guest Tammy Marris, Senior Captain with Volusia County Beach Safety.
Thanks, Amber. Well, for most of the country, Labor Day weekend marks the ceremonial end of summer, and that means lots of people flocking to Volusia County beaches. So joining us today in the studio to talk about what beachgoers can expect is Senior Captain Tammy Marris. Hi, Tammy.
Hi, Joanne.
Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me again.
So before we get into the busy holiday weekend, let's talk about the staff of Volusia County Beach Safety and your makeup. You have lifeguards, that's what's most visible out there, and then you also have the law enforcement officers who are triple certified. So talk about that makeup.
Everyone that works on the beach is an ocean rescue lifeguard. With that being said, we do have a tier of people, and you go up and you have an ocean rescue lifeguard and a BSS. That's one person, and they pretty much do all the maintenance, and they give the tower guards their lunches and do other things when the law enforcement officers are busy. And then you have the law enforcement officers, which are also ocean rescue lifeguards and emergency medical technicians. So we have a lot of lifeguards down on the beach, even though, you know, some people see us in the trucks, we are lifeguards as well.
And triple certification is rather unique for a beach safety group.
Yes, there's not very many agencies, lifeguard corps around the country where you have the triple certification with the law enforcement, emergency medical technician, and ocean rescue. So it does keep us pretty busy.
So then that's great for us to have here in Volusia County. So holiday weekends typically draw a bigger crowd than a normal weekend. How are you gearing up to manage the crowds?
Well, just like we did the other few holidays that we've had already, this is pretty much the last big holiday of the season. So we're gearing up. It's all hands on deck. We're already staffing towers, making sure everything's going to be fully staffed, just like any holiday weekend. You know, usually Labor Day weekend, sometimes you get those tropical storm systems that come through, so that always adds in a little extra more work for us if we do get any of those systems that come through, as far as rip currents and stuff like that.
And we're going to talk a little bit more about rip currents in just a minute, but first, when do the lifeguard towers open and close so that people can know, you know, the best times to be there?
Okay, the lifeguard towers open at 10 a.m. in the morning. Okay. The lifeguards will come down before that and do their daily drill and get ready for the day. But they do open at 10 a.m. and they stay open till 5:30. Now, with that being said, it's typical on a holiday weekend or a busy weekend that if we're having water rescues or the water's hazardous rip current conditions, that we will hold towers over. Intermittently, we will like keep them open till 6 and then 6:30, but 5:30 is pretty much the time that they all go home.
And it's really important for people to swim in front, very close to those lifeguard towers, because many times, first of all, you're their first line of defense if something goes wrong, but a lot of times the lifeguards, they can see things in the water that the swimmers can't necessarily, like rip currents.
Absolutely. A lot of people coming to the beach don't know what a rip current looks looks like. They don't really know how to spot them. That's why it's one of the most important things to remember when coming to the beach. Always swim in front of those open lifeguard towers. Talk to that lifeguard. They will let you know what the dangers are for the day, what the safe bathing limit is, and a lot of times they can give you other advice as well. You know, if there's jellyfish or other problems, you know, on the beach. But they a lot of times will see you in a rip current before you even realize you're in it. So it's extremely important to swim in front of those lifeguard towers.
And a rip current pulls the swimmers out into deeper water. What advice do you give beachgoers when they find themselves in a situation where they are pulled out into the deeper water? Well,
yeah, they don't panic. That's the most important thing. Don't panic. The current's not going to pull you under. It's just going to pull you into a deeper water. So don't panic. Float. Try to swim parallel to shore, either left or right, and then back in. But don't fight the current. You'll get exhausted. Yell for help. But if you're in front of that lifeguard tower, they'll see you in it, and they'll be there to help you.
All right, so let's switch gears a little bit. Our beaches they have miles and miles of, you know, their natural resources, great hours of fun for the family, but there are rules that are in place to make sure that everybody has a safe and fun time at the beach. So talk a little bit about some of the rules people need to adhere to.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. We want people to have fun down there, but our priority is safety. So if we do have a driving beach, we do have many areas of beach that are not driving. So if you come to a driving beach, just remember that the speed limit is strictly enforced. We do enforce it by radar, 10 miles an hour. Drive with your lights on and your driver's side window down. Absolutely no texting or phone. Don't use your cell phone, please, on the beach.
Right.
And we ask you that if you have small children and you opt for a driving area, to always hold their hand whenever crossing the traffic lane. Stay on the water side of the traffic lane if possible. Set up all your belongings down there. That will limit the children from wanting to travel back and forth.
And the windows down is so that the driver can hear better, because you know, you need to be able to hear what's going on the beach that you're driving on. And the lights on are so that beachgoers can more easily see cars coming, because and especially with the kids, and you talk about grabbing their hands, you know, as they're crossing that traffic lane. We all know children are just, you know, they see it as a, you know, a big playground, and they're not thinking of anything when they're running to go to that water. So, you know, kids can be unpredictable.
Absolutely. The children on the beach, they're there to play, they're there to have fun in the water. So the last thing that they're thinking about is the cars traveling back and forth. So it is extremely important to make sure that you watch them at all times, or opt for many areas of our beach that are no driving. But with that being said, we do have a lot of enforcement down there on the beach as far as the traffic, so it's extremely important. Everything gets really busy down there. There's a lot of stuff going on. People get distracted, so it's extremely important to pay attention when you're driving on the beach.
And you mentioned earlier how you encourage folks to come up to a lifeguard at a tower, because they're not just, they're actually great beach ambassadors. They can really help beachgoers with a number of issues that they might be having.
Absolutely. If you're down on the beach for any amount of time, you will be flagged down or asked a lot of questions. People, you know, don't know where certain things are. They don't know the actual beach conditions. They don't know where a rip current is. So that lifeguard is there to provide you with all the information that you will need.
So before I let you go, I want you to talk a little bit about your experience with the National Lifeguard Championships, which was just held recently here at Daytona Beach. Your Volusia County Beach Safety was the host agency, and you were one of the competitors. So talk a little bit about that experience.
It was a great experience. It was very exciting. I must say that I've competed in a lot of national championships around the country, and Volusia County by far puts on the best competition.
And we hear that from other competitors as well. They love coming here to Volusia County.
Yeah, it was a great competition, very well organized. It was very exciting to have it here in our hometown and to compete against all these other agencies. And I mean, you're competing against the most elite athletes from around the country, and that's something to be said about all of our lifeguards. They did very well.
And this competition is, it's fun and exciting, but really it's a testament to the training that they have to do, day in and day out for real, life-saving rescues.
Absolutely. I've competed in a lot of different competitions, triathlons, 5Ks, half marathons, but the lifeguard competitions are always the most competitive and the most grueling as far as, just it's an experience with these competitors. They're very competitive, and like I said, they're probably the most elite athletes from around the country.
All right, so you also come across very unique types of wildlife on the beach. I know recently, we've done some stories about different type of octopus that washed up, and what were those other?
The sea butterflies.
Sea butterflies. I'm sure people were concerned. They thought they were
fiberglass. Yeah. So there's a lot of things that wash up on the beach that some of the stuff does not look like it's part of the natural habitat, but for the most part there's a lot of different things out there, and if you ever have any question, just flag one of those lifeguards down and ask them. But we have a lot of stuff that wash up on the beach.
And for more information, you have a great Facebook page, Volusia County Beaches. People can follow you on Facebook, and your division posts daily information about what's going on at the beach, and great pictures of sunsets, and just any information people need. You can find it on the Facebook page, and then you also have the website volusia.org/beaches, which again, anything you need to know about beach safety is right there on that page. So, anything else you want the?
No, just that with Labor Day coming up, pay attention to those Facebook pages. We're going to try to be very proactive about getting any information out there that the public's going to need to know as far as rip current conditions. It's still kind of far away to tell exactly what we're going to be looking at, but we're going to try to get all that information on there for you.
And it's also good to follow that for information on ramps, because a lot of times certain ramps will be busier than others, and we can get information out there too. But you also suggest that people try alternative ramps than the major ones that go into New Smyrna and Port Orange and Daytona Beach. If you just take a right or a left off of those main thoroughfares, you can probably get on the beach a little quicker.
Yeah, absolutely. If you plan on coming to the beach this holiday weekend, look at the beach ramps. You can go on our website and find those, but try to avoid those major ramps. If you're coming across International Speedway or Dunlawton or 3rd Avenue in New Smyrna, it's going to be very congested. You're going to find a lot easier access and parking if you do travel north or south to a less busy approach.
All right, Tammy Marris, Senior Captain with Volusia County Beach Safety. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you.
Amber, back to you.
Thanks, Joanne, and thank you too for watching Volusia Magazine. If you have any questions about the show, you can feel free to give us a call at any of the numbers you see listed here, or you can log on to volusia.org and click on the News tab at the top of the screen to find us. And we hope you won't forget to listen to Volusia Today. That's Volusia County Government's weekly public radio broadcast. Volusia Today airs every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Sunday mornings on the local radio stations you see on your screen. For Volusia Magazine, I'm Amber Osmond, and I hope you have a wonderful evening.